Kingston with my good friend Marc Barton. He runs Kingston Jiu Jitsu. We're going to go over ghost escape, and it's a bit different this time. Marc's going to show the variation in the gi that he likes to use, and he's got some really nice details. Then I'm going to show the no gi variation that I like to use. And they are quite different, functionally the same, but there are some nice differences. Over to Marc.
Okay, let's get going. Okay, so I like to use the ghost escape when I haven't, if I've got my frames here, I'll probably be, trying to start to create angles and space, or maybe trying to move this arm over the head or whatever from here. But if I've lost my arms here, okay, and they're very heavy on me, and it's looking like I can't get that elbow back into the hip, it's going to be very difficult for me. If Lee's trying to stop me from getting that arm back in front, it's going to be troublesome. So I'll leave these grips where it is. So the first thing I want to do is I want to try and reach this hand over here. I'm going to bridge over and try and take a grip either on the belt if I can reach it, or close to the belt if I can't. And once I've got that clamped, I'm going to start to reverse my hips this way a little bit, just to create some space for my elbow to come through this gap here and my hand to come to this hip here. So if you turn around a little bit here, you can see that I've got this grip here and this hand here. Now if I go back, the main problem is if I don't do anything about this arm, as I start to come out here, this arm's going to come through underneath my neck here, take a grip on the back, and I'm going to be very susceptible to the paper cutter choke or other problems. So once this arm has come through, I'm going to switch this grip from here to the shoulder, and once I've got a grip here on the cloth of the shoulder, my elbow's going to clamp in really tight on the arm there. So if Leigh tries to take the arm out now, it's going to be difficult for him to bring that to this side and cause me problems with the paper cutter. I'm going to bring my legs this direction, and then I'm going to swing them whilst blocking the hip on this side and come out. And I'm going to keep hold of this grip here. So I want to keep this grip, and at the same time try and reach with this elbow, and then try and turn him over onto his back. I have another variation of this that I use, and it was taught to me by my friend Darren Bartlett, who is a third-degree black belt under Maurizio, and I don't think I've seen anyone else do this. And I've sort of blatantly stolen this from Darren, so I want to give him a bit of a heads up. Okay, although I have added some of my own little quirks to this.
I'm going to call it the Leigh.
so this one, I use this particularly if there's a lot of shoulder pressure coming on here, okay, because I can then usually reach with this gi on the side here, start to untuck the lapel, and I'm going to pass it to the hand here. And if Lee's dropping a lot of shoulder pressure on me here, just by pulling there, Leigh will tell you that I'm starting to create some space. And then that's going to allow me to do exactly what I did with the last variation, where I'm just going to start to move my hips this way to create a bit of space for the arm to come through here. And then once I've got this, it's the same principle. He's going to struggle to get that arm out because my arm is pinching because I'm clamped here on that lapel.
I have no posture. I can't make the space to get out.
And I'm going to, my legs are this way, and I'm going to swing again, and I'm going to keep the grip. Now, the nice thing, I'm just going to move Leigh around a little bit here. The nice thing is that if I keep this grip, I've got a couple of options. One is I can just start to turn him around this way. And once I've got that, I should usually be able to isolate that arm. But another option, once I'm here, is I can sometimes bring this hand through and take a grip on that side of the lapel here and get a choke using the lapel as well. So I'll just show that variation the whole way through. So I'm going to bring this over, take a grip here, start to release the pressure, hips come in to create the space, hand blocks the hip. I'm going to swing around here, and then to apply the choke, I'm literally going to take this lapel through here, switch to the other hand, and it's a one-handed choke that you can apply here, and the pressure will go on quite nicely.
Oh, that's miserable. Okay.
All right, I'll pass you over to Leigh, so we'll take our jackets off.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, so onto the no-gi variation. Okay, so let's have an angle like this. If you come to here, please. Just for the camera, I'm going to angle it like this for now. I always want to track the hip to avoid being mounted as best I can. You can't always stop it, but at least don't make it easy. I need to get this arm in, and that can be quite tight, so you've everything pulled in. So what I'll always try, because it's super simple, is a side bend, like I'm waving in in a crowd. Come to the side here and slip my elbow in. If I can't, then I lock myself here and I bridge over this hip. So that will physically lift Marc up and open up the space here. As I go here, the space opens and I can slip this in. And I put it. Don't put your hand in because you can get wrist locked, okay, but I use my forearm here. Once I've got this here, very similar to Marc, I can start to move my hips and find some space to circle my arm under. If you've got long arms, that's going to be trickier. With my little T-Rex arms, it's a bit easier. I used to hold this really, really tight here to stop them switching out so I could go. The problem I found was that one, it slowed me down, and Marc was saying prior to this video that he likes to hold onto it and go in. But of course, this is awful. I'm going to get 180 arm barred or all sorts, right? So instead of doing that, I just hold it, and I don't really care if he moves it because I combo it with a phantom escape. Right, so I come to here, and I like to say flatten my back rather than spin out. I'm not saying it's wrong to do it any other way, just I like to keep myself to the floor so that I can avoid any sort of darts for it or anything like that. I stay here. I'm going to start to move out underneath here. And then when I come out like this, fantastic, I can catch my own darts, or I can pop out on top. But, as Marc said, with his, he wants to stop them swapping the arm over, and in the gi, it's a big problem because they're going to go for the paper cutter, right? In no gi, that isn't so much of a threat, but I still don't want him to block me getting out. So as he swaps his arm over though, I don't care because I combo it with a phantom. So I cut this arm instead, trap the head, and just carry on doing the same escape in the other direction. Here, he swaps back again. I carry on going, I just keep going down, he swaps back again, I don't care, and I come out. And you'll see that with my leg being up, I use that for momentum. Well, I kept it up to stop the mount, but once I get out, I can sit up and move behind him. So for me, the concept is my arms are down, and whatever arm is there, I'll grab it, and the other one's going to get me out. And he swaps arms, I grab it, and I move out until I get free. Works super well for me. And those are, I think, some really nice differences between the gi and the no gi.